I'm always intrigued to see, why someone does something, right? Like you started clothing, but I'm sure there was a deeper message as to why you started
100%.
clothing, right?
Why does anyone do anything?
Exactly. So I'm like, what was your why? Like, whether that was you were driven by money or you were driven
It's
by...
funny that you asked this, because I was actually thinking about this a few days ago. The deeper meaning, and I didn't know this until recently, like why was I actually doing it? And I self-reflect a lot. I always ask myself, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Even if I get in an argument with someone, it's like, why did I get in an argument? Like, why? What was the reason? Like, what am I trying to get to? So, and then I asked myself, why? Like, why did I even, what was the point of trying to build this brand and trying to make it as big as possible, hit 1 million orders? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And the answer to me was safety. So the reason I want to make money and want to have these connections and I want to have people respect me is essentially safety. Yeah. Safety for me, safety for my family, and safety for the family that I build one day. Yeah. So if I have a brand that is reputable, like, for example, the fact that you guys have me on here, you obviously respect me to some degree, right? And when I go to, say, Refinery yesterday, and people come and talk to me, they're like, hey, like, you know what? Your brand is sick. Like, I've been following it. You've done a really good job. That to me is respect. And when you have respect, it's safety. And then on top of that, if you're making money from your business, money also gives you safety. You're able to live in a nice house. You're able to do things. You're able to make more decisions. You have more freedom. And when you have more freedom, you have more safety. So that was my deeper meaning behind it, and that's why I do it now. It's like, I want to create safety for myself, for the family that I build, and then obviously the family lineage that I have right now. That's the biggest reason. That's why I started Concrete Business too. Like, the only reason I keep on having this ambition and to pursue things is that simple purpose in life is to create safety for the people I love. That's it.
Did you feel unsafe before?
Not necessarily, no. I felt like other people were creating safety for me.
Gotcha.
For example, my parents would create safety for me. But if you think about it, your parents are getting old, right? You don't want them to always be taking care of you. You don't want them to be your safety net. So being a man, I'm like, I want to be the one that creates safety. Like, when you guys are getting older and you guys can't work as much, I want to give you guys safety. I want to give my girl safety. I want to give my kids safety. Like, I need to be that one. And I think that's something to be prideful of. And so that's, so it's not that I didn't feel safe. I just felt like someone else was providing safety for me. And the older you get, you don't want to be feeling like a kid, like you're just being taken care of. Like, oh, it's okay. Oh, something went wrong. We'll take care of you. Like, oh, you need food. I'll go buy it for you. It's like, no, I want to be a man. I want to buy my stuff. I want to pay my rent. I want to buy my own car. I want to take care of my girl, all those different things. Right.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had a chip on your shoulder to prove something in terms of, I can, watch me do this, if I'm going to go run a clothing business, it's going to be me. It's a part of getting that respect. I feel like the reason every person achieves something or goes out to chase something, I feel like it's because they got something to prove, whether that's just the starting point, whether that's, I said something and I'm going to be a man of my word and I'm going to prove that I can accomplish what I said. So was that something for you where it's like, yo, I got something to prove here?
Yeah, I would say yes. And I would say it was proving it to my dad. Yeah. Because I saw how hard he worked and how successful he was in his, he also works concrete. Yeah. That's why part of the reason why I was able to start that business. But yeah, I would say the initial proving to someone was my father. Yeah. Right? Seeing how hard he worked and then being like, okay, well, I want to show him that I can do the same or be better. If I see how hard he works and he was able to keep me safe and provide this nice house for us to live in and grow up, it's like, I can't sit at home and just be a degenerate and go out drinking every weekend. He worked his ass off to put me in this position. Am I just going to sit at home and do nothing? Yeah. So I think that was the part where I was like, I'm going to prove it to him that I can be just as good as him, if not better. Yeah.
And then what did he say when you said you're going to start a clothing brand?
Oh, I thought it was crazy. He thought it was crazy. He's old school though. He's like, yo, you got to work with your hands and you got to go out and work as hard as you can. You got to be outside. And I'm like, okay, you got to understand. We're living in a different era. There's social media, there's the internet.
But that doesn't exist.
Yeah, he's like, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't really.
People don't matter. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, there was obviously some backlash there, and they didn't really understand. But I mean, that's part of the pressures that you receive. Sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's your closest friends, man, that just give you the pressure, right? But yeah, so I would say proving to someone it started off with my dad, and then obviously it starts to come with like it evolves from that, and it's like proving it to the world, proving it to your friends, like showing that you can do it. Especially when people say, oh, like they kind of like you kind of tell them, yeah, I'm starting a brand, like I have this clothing, and they're like interested in it, but it's also like, okay, like okay,
Let's see how long it lasts.
let's see how long this lasts, and they're like supporting it, but you can read the energy. So yeah, so then it became like more like bigger than that. But I never forgot the main focus, and I think that's a lot of people get like distracted by everything else, and you got to just remember what the main focus is and why you're doing what you do, which is, so I guess it'd be like proving it to my father and then creating that safety.
There's a lot of parallels here, because even when we started our podcast, it was a lot of like, are they like, okay, congrats, you started a podcast, but like, how long is this gonna last? Well, we're at 127, 8 episodes deep. We'll see how long more goes, right? Exactly. But at first, it was a lot of like, you know, we're just two guys sitting in a room chatting with people. So it's like, anyone can start a podcast, but like, you know, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't see. And I'm sure with the brand as well, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that maybe your friends don't see. They see the Instagram post, they see the nice clothing, but there's a lot of work that goes in behind. Did you have any expectation of what it was going to be like? Like when you started, where you're like, oh, I'm going to sell it. It's going to sell. And then the reality hit of like, oh yeah. People aren't buying this.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I used to watch this guy on YouTube, Christian Guzman.
Okay.
And I saw when he started his brand, but the guy had like 800,000 YouTube subs. So I can't even compare myself to him. But still, he like sold out the first time. I'm like, yo, I got these 6 stringers. Like, oh my God, like I got Instagram posts. I got like 8,000 followers. Like, I'm going to sell out. I got all my boys buying it. And then I launch it. It's like 15 orders. I'm like, shit.
Out of how many?
Oh, well, I ordered 100 stringers, 100 pairs of joggers, 100 leggings, and 100 sports bras. So I had 400 items, got 15 orders. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm going back to work. I'm going straight back to work in construction with my dad. So that was like a big wake-up call. I was like, okay, it's not easy. It is not easy at all. And then obviously you just go from there and you just learn and evolve. And I just started coming up with ways to just keep pushing it, which was at the time my brand, like my self brand, Felgy Flex. That was how I grew it. Was like, okay, I just got to keep on giving people value, like keep making TikToks, keep making Instagram posts, and providing value in the fitness niche. So then that's how I grew it, was using my personal brand. Because I watched that guy, right, Christian Guzman, I'm like, okay, this guy sold out because he has a personal brand, he provides value, and that's how he was able to sell, because these people like him. So I'm like, I'm going to do the same. I'll just replicate it. And then obviously it's changed since then. I actually try to pull myself away from being the face of the brand. I stopped making TikToks, stopped making YouTube videos. And now I kind of allow other people to be the face of the brand. Because I like to do the stuff on the back end. I like to be the creative guy. And I felt like when I was the face of the brand, there was a lot of pressure on me.